Very good morning to all of you. Today I want to explain about determination of residual chlorine determination for the given sample of module 1, and experiment number is 8C. For this experiment, course outcome: acquire capability to conduct experiments and estimate the concentration of different parameters. Compare the results with standard and discussed based on the purpose of analysis. Determine type of treatment, degree of treatment for water and wastewater. Identify the parameter to be analyzed for the student project work in environmental stream. The subject title is Environmental Engineering Laboratory and subject code is 18CVL67 in 6 semesters of civil engineering departments. Theory. The introductions about these experiments. The quantity of chlorine required for disinfecting certain water will depend upon the quality and quantity of organic impurities and bacteria present in that water. The normal dose of chlorine may vary between 0.3 to 1 mg per liter. Its dose must be worked out with precision because too little chlorine is ineffective and too much will cause bad taste and odors. This required dose of chlorine is generally determined experimentally by adding varying amounts of chlorine to a given sample and observing the residual left after a contact period of 20 minutes. The dose which gives a residue of about 0.1 to 0.2 mg per liter is generally selected. So this is the concept of these experiments. Apparatus. Which are the apparatus are required? Burette, pipette, measuring jar, beaker, conical flask, glass rods, weighing balance, etc. Which are the reagents are required? In this experiment, standard chlorine solution is required. So that's how to prepare this standard chlorine solution. Dissolve 0.5 gram of bleaching powder in 1000 ml distilled water. So this is the reagents of standard chlorine solution. Procedure. Here, first step, you take 200 ml sample in 5 jars. Next step, add different doses of standard chlorine solution in all the 5 jars in an increasing orders. Then after 20 minutes of contact time, find the residual chlorine left in all the jars. Then the dose which gives a residue of about 0.1 to 0.2 mg per liter is selected. This is the steps how to execute these experiments. Observations. So here this tabular column is given in terms of observations. Serial number, sample, next is ml of standard chlorine added, milligram of chlorine added, applied chlorine, next residual chlorine in milligram. Here initial reading, final reading, difference, and this column is expressed in terms of residual chlorine. Here we are taking 200 ml samples for 5 jars and we are adding 0.25 ml, 0.5, 0.75, 1.25. Then we are wait up to 20 minutes. Then you take final reading. Then FR minus IR, we are getting difference. So then finally we are calculating residual chlorines from the tables and we are doing the calculations in this formula, that is chlorine demand equal to applied chlorine minus residual chlorine. Okay, results we are getting chlorine demands in milligram per liters. Then we are writing conclusion based on the results. This slide is explained based on multiple choice questions from experiment 8C selected. 10 questions with different options. Okay, first question is, the quantity of chlorine required for disinfecting certain water will depend upon the quality and quantity of organic impurities and bacteria present in that water. Option is true, false, true, false, none. Correct answer is true. The normal dose of chlorine may vary between 0.3 to 1 milligram per liter, 0.3 to 0.8 milligram per liter, 0.1 to 1.5 milligram per liter, or 0 to 0.2 milligram per liter. Correct answer is 0.3 to 1 milligram per liter. Chlorine dose must work out with precision because too little chlorine is ineffective and too much will cause bad taste and odors. Option true and false, or true or false, or all the above. Correct answer is true. The dose which gives a residue of about dash selected 0.1 to 0.5 milligram per liter, 0.1 to 0.29 milligram per liter, 0.1 to 0.2 milligram per liter, or 0.2 to 0.7 milligram per liter. Correct answer is 0.1 to 0.2 milligram per liter. The unit weight of residual chlorine demand is mm or percentage or milligram per liter or ppm. Unit is milligram per liter. Chlorine demand equal to applied chlorine minus residual chlorine. Option is true or false, true, false, none. Option is true. After dash minutes of contact time, find the residual chlorine left in all the jars. Option 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Correct answer is 20 minutes. The required dose of chlorine is generally determined experimentally by adding varying amounts of chlorine to a given sample. Option is yes, no, yes, no, or 0. Correct answer is yes. The EDTA salt used in this experiment. Option yes or no, or yes, no, or 0. Correct answer is no. Standard chlorine solution equal to dissolve of bleaching powder. Option is 100 gram, 0.6 gram, 0.5 gram, 0.7 gram. Correct answer is 0.5 grams. So these are the references or referrals for these experiments. Thank you, one and all. Next class I will be continue.